Hello and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Hennessy Performance Racing League Xfinity Series. Tonight we're going to be bringing you some coverage from Phoenix. This is going to be, I believe, our 10th time visiting the track in our season's history in the Xfinity Series. And we have definitely seen some action here. Tonight I'm going to be joined by Sharp. We're also going to be joined by Kluka, I believe, whenever he gets in here. So, Sharp, what's up?
Yeah, we're doing Brody. Good to have you back in commission, leading our broadcast, and excited to call to action with you tonight.
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm a little rusty, and I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, tonight should go somewhat smoothly. And as I was saying, Kluka is going to be joining us whenever he pops into the party. He is running a little bit late, but tonight, or right now, we are waiting on them to finish qualifying, and then we will get right into this race. So not last week, the week before last, because we had a break due to the 4th, we did see Blakey T get his first win of the season and in Hennessy. It was a fuel mileage win. I didn't get to see the end of it, but I believe Sharp can give us some insight into what happened in that race. Sharp, would you mind recapping Las Vegas?
Absolutely. I had the privilege of leading my first broadcast for HPRL at Vegas for the Xfinity Series, and it didn't disappoint. I mean, we had a lot of comers and goers, a lot of, the drivers were mainstays at the front. Heredia was extremely strong throughout the race. He dominated from start to finish. Toward the end of the race, there were a couple of drivers who attempted to make it on only one stop without having to, pit for right side tires. And the end of it, Blakey T was able to come out with his first HPRL Xfinity Series win. And what made it quite interesting was that I2 Ballstick was right there with him and saw that he had an opportunity to make a move on Blakey T for the win. Passed him coming out of 2, and then right as he was coming into turn 3, unfortunately blew a right rear tire, ending his bid for the win. It allowed Blakey T to get back by him, who had just enough tire to make it to the finish. And, man, it didn't disappoint. I mean, everyone was hyped up. I mean, it was very well talked about after the race was all said and done. I mean, we've seen it not only in trucks, not only in Xfinity Cup as well. Strategy can come into effect at each and every given racetrack, and Blakey T showed it to perfection there by outsmarting the rest of the field there, and just being conservative throughout the entirety of that stage 3 when it went green. And he ended up picking up that what he called a much needed win. Obviously, he's brand new to our league, so he's trying to make a statement right off of the bat, and he did just that, picking up that win at Las Vegas.
Absolutely, and not only Blakey T. I mean, he did take the points. He did take first in the points following that race, but there was a couple people that stood out to me in that race. I mean, Ballstick, he put himself into position, and if he would have just had a little bit less wear on his tire, he could have rounded 4 and got that first win. That would have definitely been exciting to see. But we're going to transition over into the point standings. As I said, Blakey T does take that first spot, and second is Jackson Altman, which is kind of a surprising pick. Um, Third would be JoJo Siwa, no surprise. Fourth, Heredia, no surprise. Fifth, Killer XL. Sixth, Person, which is also new to the league. Seventh is Jamie Wright, which is also new to the league. Eighth is a familiar face of Electric. Ninth is McCard. And 10th is Ballstick, the man that we were talking about earlier. So that's the top 10 of the points. I mean, Sharp, just looking at these standings right now, I mean, who's a standout person that has kicked the start of their season off right?
Well, I mean, I look at drivers amongst the top five, right off of the jump. Blakey T comes to mind, like I mentioned, he made that statement win with the conservative strategy. He was up front, though, all night long. He had a strong car. Just, the competition I felt was missing a little something compared to Heredia, but you look at it, Heredia has been strong throughout both of the races. Plate tracks have not exactly been his strong suit, so it was understanding that he didn't maybe run up front like a lot of the other drivers who preferred super speedways, but we saw it at Las Vegas just how strong he is. And even though he didn't win, Heredia has just been so good at pretty much every given track type throughout his career. So no surprise there to see him. But Blakey T, points leader after two races, is an early sample size. But obviously, right off of the jump, he's proven a point that he's going to be here. He's going to be in contention each and every given week, and he's going to be one to watch for. Jackson is up here too. I felt like he's had a pretty strong start to his season there, so good on him to be second. JoJo, he's been consistent throughout his career, Cup, any series he goes to, so no surprise there. Killer XL with a strong start, he's there. Ballstick though, 10th place. He's one driver that, like I said, he went for it in that final stage. He nearly got that win. Had he come away with a better finish, he'd be much higher than 10th right now. So, drivers are going to do what they can to be able to come away with a victory, give themselves some playoff points. And I think that's, something to watch for as the season progresses here. Drivers like Ball State, drivers like, say, McCall, Electric, they're going to swing for the fences any way that they can. So the guys up in the top 10, it's impressive the start that they've had. And, some of the drivers who are, just out of that cut line, you go all the way back to 17th, 10 points back, it's right there for the taking. These points are going to shuffle continuously throughout the season, so it'll just be interesting to see who's really able to make their mark as the season progresses.
Absolutely. Well, we're at Phoenix tonight, not Las Vegas, but there are a little bit of similarities. Sharp, starting out, how do you get around this track? How do you get around Phoenix?
Oh, Phoenix is a 1 mile racetrack. It's not necessarily one of the shortest tracks on the schedule, but it is considered a short track. There's not a whole lot of banking throughout these corners here. It's very technical, so getting around this racetrack is it's gonna be, for some drivers, it will be pretty tricky to get around over here. It takes sometimes more than just one lap to set up a pass because you can run low, you can run high. It's all about how you set up your corner entry. If you burn the corner, there's a possibility you won't have as good of an exit. If you're too shallow on the entry, you may be giving up, any kind of approach to a pass you make. So you've just got to be spot on with your corners. Your car has got to be rotating very well throughout the corners without losing that balance later on the run. So this is the challenge that the drivers are facing. They got to figure out both 1 and 2. They got to figure out 3 and 4. And, on a 3 times wear setting, you got to be conservative and aggressive at the same time. So these drivers are going to have completely different approaches as the night goes along. Factor in, you might have a yellow or two here and there. So we'll just have to see what these drivers are able to do as the night progresses.
Absolutely, well said. Um, Now we are finally joined by Kluka. Kluka, how are you doing tonight?
That's one for the swear jar.
Okay.
Nice to hear from you, Kluka. Welcome to the broadcast. Sorry to everybody listening in.
Well, well, since I have you right here, I'm gonna see if you have anything to add about getting around Phoenix. What about Phoenix, uh, like, can you bring to the table and talked about, um, or kind of add to what Sharps said? I know you kind of heard a little bit of it, but what's your pointers to Phoenix? Absolutely. Now, I do not have a status uh, or an update about where they are in qualifying or where they are about to start this race. Okay, so
Yeah, I think they're just making the final final adjustments here before we get rolling.
Rocket Man back on the
wait,
pole.
How fast? Yeah, that is extremely fast, because I remember running Phoenix here in season number 2, and my best lap was like a 23.5. Now, obviously, that was in race trim, but I mean, pole setter that race with a 20, what a .6 or so. So like that is extremely fast. I mean, obviously, Masopes is one of those drivers. He's been so well rounded throughout his career. This has been a good track for him in the past. So I mean, this is going to be one to watch. If he's able to keep that pace up while protecting his equipment, he could be the one to beat tonight there.
Oh,
All
great
right.
heads up.
Yep.
Yep.
All done.
Well, it does look like we are going to start the lobby in about 1 minute, so I'm gonna jump into picks for tonight. So, Sharp, who do you got for tonight?
Ooh, I mean, that's a tough pick. I mean, a sentimental favorite I would believe would be Heredia, but now I'm going to go with someone else. I feel like I'm going to end up going with a sleeper on this one. And I think Blakey T is going to be the driver who's going to be able to get it done, assuming he does make it into the show. I think they're waiting on him to arrive. I mean, we've seen drivers come from the back of the field to the front without any issues, and Blakey has the skill set to be able to get it done. It'll just all hinge on if he has the patience while working through this traffic here, because he is quite aggressive here. So it'll just all depend if he's able to make it the entirety of the stage without burning his tires, because we've seen from past races, Xfinity, you have to go to join, Cappy. You have to save a little. This challenge of Phoenix.
Absolutely, Luca. Who's your pick tonight?
All right. All right. So Blakey is not racing tonight, so I'll make an adjustment on the pick. Tell you what, my other underdog pick I was going to go with, and that'll be McCard. Oh, he's starting on pole, so okay, well, that's a good pick to roll with, I guess. We'll see how he's able to do. Let you take it, Brody.
Absolutely, and looks like we are going to jump into the race, and it's already started. McCard's going to hold the lead, heading into 1 and exiting 2, and they're heading on the back.
Alright, can the broadcast hear me now? I had it set to don't allow. That's my fault, guys.
No, we've heard you this whole time. Hopefully
no,
so.
the people on the broadcast couldn't. But it's
alright.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but by the way, my pick is McCard.
Alright, well, we already have a challenge for the lead. Heredia looking to the inside. Does a good job not making contact with the 9 car. He had a nose there at his door, but he had to back out of the gas so as not to run McCard up the track. So working lap 2 here, coming through 3 and 4. As we mentioned, this track extremely technical all the way around. The corners are not the same here, so we will have to see how these drivers make their way around this track. Already, what a great run coming out of turn 4, and he's easily going to clear for the lead here. So put that 22 up front.
As we see the 61, he's going way down low on the dog leg right there, almost hitting the wall. There's some great battles happening back here. 2 of the JGR drivers with, actually no, that's not a JGR driver. Anyways, the 20 and the 18 are battling a lot right here. As we see 10 Titan, like we said, going way down to that wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would like to kind of talk about a newcomer sitting in 3rd place right now. I mean, this is McCard's friend right here. I'm not even sure if he owns a PlayStation. I mean, he kind of has to, but last time I checked, he didn't. But AMC Kid Trick is up here in the 3rd place, making really good lap times up here.
Yeah, and he started in that third spot. I mean, holding his own amongst these top runners, the front runners right here, looking extremely strong on the track right now. Just kind of trying to get the rhythm here. It looked like he's kind of overdriving the corners just a little bit, wouldn't you say? But he's actually kind of holding that pace, throughout the entirety of that corner there. So the approach so far working for him. We're going to have to see how that's going to work out for him as these laps wear on and the tires start to burn off.
And there is a whole hornet's nest back here 10th on. I mean, everyone is fighting for anything.
JoJo had a very poor qualifying. We see he was starting way in the back, starting to make his way through the field. He has currently gotten by a couple drivers. Like you said, a huge hornet's nest in the middle of the field. And then you got a little battle going on in the back between Two Ball and Fluffy Sacks.
Yeah, JoJo has already made up about 6 spots from his starting spot. He's already looking for his 7th pass of the night. And I mean, we mentioned that JoJo's been one of the most consistent drivers. At times he's had extremely dominant runs, with these guys. Won at Charlotte in the Cup race last season there. So he's proven that he can win at any and all given tracks if he's given, the position late in the race here. A little bit of a challenge having to work his way up from the back, but with JoJo's skill set, I'm not concerned about his prospects. He's got 2 whole stages to work with before the final stage, so, he's got to take his time, fill out the competition, and see what he needs to do as the race goes along. Another driver, though, I wanted to point out right before I hand it back off to Brody was Sir Sadsack in the 18 car. He started in the 6th spot, and he's already dropped 4 spots over here, about to drop his 5th position on the night, so a little concerning for the 18, who's looked pretty strong. His finishes don't show it, but he's ran well to start off the season there. So just a little concerning early on. Maybe he's just being a little more conservative than others, but just something to keep an eye out for some of these drivers who started up front.
Absolutely. I mean, there is a lot of differing strategies here. I mean, personally, whenever I like to run this track, I like to run tight, and kind of car comes in on the long run. So this could be a result of that. He could just be having a tight car right now. But I do notice cars are passing him on the outside, or at least holding their own on the outside. I mean, you don't really get to see that a lot at Phoenix, so he's definitely struggling with the handling of his race car right now.
Alright, so while we were talking about the other people, Heredia did make a move for the lead and is building pretty sizable lead, but in P4 right now, we got Killer. He not really, I don't know how he did the first 2 Xfinity Series, but I don't think he was up in the top 5. I knew he's top 10, but not top 5, having a really good run so far today.
Without a doubt. Surprisingly, Killer is sitting 5th in the points right now. He was the pole sitter for the for the Xfinity's Daytona race. He just took over the 3rd spot away from McCard, who's dropped 2 spots in less than 1 lap. And that 8 car of Amy Kittricks, the newcomer to the series, just being signed by JRM, now in the 2nd position, but being challenged for that spot by Killer, who wants the runner-up spot. And it looks like he'll get it. So Killer continuing that. Nah, you're good. Just continuing that strong start to the season. You're runner-up now, passing both JRM cars who are running 3rd and 4th. Still a solid night to start for these 2 guys. Go ahead, Kluka. Sorry about that.
Alright, yeah, you're all good. I kind of cut you off. McCard is having some issues. I don't know what it is. He has fallen off on pace a ton. Already has gapped the 2 cars behind him by probably a good 2 seconds now. And you can see the drivers right behind McCard with, I think that's Phase Electric. Yeah, they're gaining on McCard very quickly.
Yeah, he is giving up that 2nd position. He's fallen back to 4th. He is definitely struggling with the car right now. I mean, something's going on right here with McCard, and he's got to figure out how to turn it around right now, or else he's going to get swallowed by this whole pack.
Absolutely. We've seen throughout McCard's career that he is a very strong qualifier, and a lot of times he's able to stay within the front group because of those strong qualifying efforts here. Not overly concerning. I mean, it's only 3 spots lost right now. Obviously, as we mentioned, the strategies are going to vary. Some drivers will be a little more aggressive. Some will be a little more conservative. McCard probably thinking bigger picture here. Let's just make sure we get to the end of the stage without damaging the equipment here. So, you know, he may be able to press a little later on in the run if that's the case. But FaZe up from 8th spot now to 5th with Jamie Wright right behind him. FaZe looking impressive so far in this early going here as he looks for that 4th spot.
He is sort of a surprise. I mean, he had a really good start to the season, and he's kind of an unknown right here, kind of like Blakey T, trying to make a name for himself, and he's a very consistent runner in this Xfinity series. Might be a little too early to say, but he's going to be right there in the championship battle.
I would agree with that statement. I mean, FaZe is showing, ooh, he gets a nice run on this night. You don't see that very often. You get that high side working like that. A lot of times guys will try to hug the bottom. You see McCard just lets the 20 go. Doesn't really put up a fight right now, but now he's got the whole field stacked up behind him. He's dropping another spot to his teammate, dropping. Ooh, he didn't get the wall. Good job by McCard, but McCard is extremely tight.
He's back to 9.
It looks like, yeah, he's about to fall out of the top 10 here. Something's going on with that 9. I mean, he had such a good starting spot, and for him to fall off like this, it doesn't appear on our screens. He's got connection issues, any of that sort. So just interesting. Look at the 16 giving up 3rd spot.
I think I have an idea. I don't know if they're completely good on fuel to the end of the stage. He might be to the idea of, I'm going to save this, I'm going to win the stage.
I believe they're good on fuel. It's the tires, I think, that's the question mark. They burn tires very easily here in Phoenix, so that's something that if they're able to conserve, they can make it without pitting. But, you know, some of these guys are being extremely aggressive. Look at this, 3 wide. Look at Jamie Wright. I mean, running a Kyle Busch line all the way on the apron. They're about 4 wide almost.
Yeah, this is some exciting racing, and here comes JoJo all the way up, into the top 5 now? Isn't this the guy you were talking about, starting in the rear? I mean, he's all the way up to,
starting in the rear
4th place?
And all the way up. Yep, I mean, just like that. I mean, his pedigree shows for it. I mean, you know, JoJo's just too good to keep him all the way in the back. You saw that Hale State was on pit road. Looks like the one of Jamie Wright is also coming down pit road. So some of these drivers are a little concerned they can't make it. Look at Kelvin. Kelvin's going 3 wide, middle of the pack, and passes both the 8 and the 98.
So I am turning my TV volume up. I am realizing that McCard is saving fuel. You can hear from his throttle management. He is saving fuel a ton right now, which signals me that they are not going to make it to the end on fuel, proving my point why the 15 and the 1 car both came into the pits.
And the 8 car is also saving now. JRM buddy to McCard. I mean, he is also saving really far off the pace. I mean, this is basically a Hail Mary, and the 8 car actually spins, exiting 4.
It was at the end of the stage right there. That could very well have been the end of the stage.
Let me check.
Either way, the 8 car did not make it to the line.
Checking in.
That was the end of the stage.
All right, so
someone keep an eye on that lap counter.
FaZe Electric with the stage win. Heredia fell all the way back to 7th.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken there. FaZe Electric, Person, JoJo the 3rd, Sursad 2nd, 4th, Jackson 5th, Team Titan for Life is 6th, Heredia 7th, Killer XL in 8th, TK270 Kelvin 9th, Drunkfest in 10th. That's your top 10 for stage number 1. So your pole sitter way back in the field. I'm not entirely sure if he remained on the lead lap. That's going to be interesting to see here. But we got a new leader up front in the 20 car. FaZe Electric. And look at it. I mean, these guys are absolutely going at it. 3 wide already. 2 rows.
And look at JoJo. I think he started P19 all the way up here to P2. What a run by JoJo.
Very impressive stuff out of that 13 car.
Oh, car on the wall.
Oh, and the 18 is also going to smack the inside barrier.
Oh.
I mean, it's kind of fun to watch.
Wide.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to watch these drivers navigate around this track with the open dog leg. I mean, you can see 4 or 5 wide, as we've seen It definitely does produce some really awesome racing.
We see
Yeah, I
Heredia
mean,
was the only one. Alright, you go.
Yeah, Heredia is stuck in a little bit of traffic right now, and it's definitely stalling his progress right now. I mean, these guys are remaining side by side, 3 wide again. I mean, they're not holding back right now. I mean, they are absolutely going for every single spot they could get. Heredia is still not made up a spot on the restart. Kelvin again going 3 wide for
Wow.
8th, and he's going to clear the 18. What a move. Oh, the 18 kind of gave him a little bit of a check there, but the 10 is able to collect it, keeps it going, and appears to have cleared someone on drive. Oh, he made contact with the 18s around.
Big wreck, 4 cars involved as well. That's a lot of damage to both of them.
Gonna be an action. Caution's not out yet. The 4 car,
That is going to-
18.
That is going to
8.
affect a lot of people who picked Warner right here over Greg Tires for the featured matchup, since Warner has a ton of damage.
That appeared to be 2 cars involved. I kind of forget. Is the short tracks 3 that needs to be involved?
I believe for short tracks it is 3.
Ah, wow. So Sir Sadsag and unfortunately the 4 of I Warner got involved in that, and no game caution. So unless, something hectic happens, for the remainder of the stage, their shots at any kind of stage points are gone for now. As Sir Sadsag was running within the top 10 right there before that incident. I'm still not entirely sure what happened. I think he made some contact with the 10. The 10 was trying to come out of the dog leg back onto the main racing track, and just unfortunately caught him in the left front corner.
What a battle for P3 right now. Holy cow.
We got a change for the lead up here. The 13 of JoJo has cleared the 20 of Phase Electric. New leader here. 3rd different leader on the night.
They are 4 wide right now for P4. 3 and 4 wide.
Heredia is gonna break through to 4th.
Oh, in the wall. 2 cars go right here.
Here's where we will see the 22 car to come to life right here.
Yeah, he has now cleared all of that traffic behind him, and I mean, you saw just how good he was. Like, I'm assuming maybe he had to back off a little bit to save his tires or the fuel. Realized it a little bit too late into the run and had to give up all that track position there. So, I wouldn't consider it a setback for him. It's a lesson learned. Heredia's a very smart driver. He'll take note of that later on in the race, and he'll be just fine moving forward here. He's already progressing, up toward that runner-up spot. I believe we are coming to get 10 to go in this stage when they cross the line this time. So JoJo has a pretty decent gap here. Oh, Phase Electric caught that inside wall. Didn't slow him down too much. I'm not entirely sure if he got any kind of damage from that. Appears his car is okay.
That's gonna let Heredia have an opportunity to get 2nd place from there. Gonna be real scary for JoJo. He's got to run some really consistent lap time.
I believe they are on 9 to go in the stage, right? Coming through 9 to go in the stage.
Yes,
So the
indeed,
thing
coming
is,
to
though,
9.
is the saving game going to come into the aspect again with the tires? I don't know.
I believe this stage, from past experience, I've run Xfinity races over here on 3 times where I do believe they're going to be safe unless they just absolutely are way over aggressive in the corner. But I mean, if they're running smooth, consistent lines, I think they should be good in this stage to run it all the way without pitting. So there'll just be something to watch, but should be good. But like Brody mentioned, JoJo's going to have a mirror full of that 22 here pretty shortly here. He's got to just run consistent laps here, not looking to review, just worry about his own race.
Yeah, and the opposite side of the spectrum, the 22 is doing everything he can to catch his 13 car. I mean, Heredia just... You can see where he makes up time in 3 and 4. He's just so strong in that corner. No.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, we look a little bit further back, you know, you got third place runner Phase Electric holding strong right there. You got Person right there in the 92, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And then Jackson Allman holding steady in fifth. But look who's fighting his way back up. The pole sitter, McCard, sixth place, looking for fifth. Not quite there. But McCard with an impressive rebound coming back up through this field. You know, you mentioned it. He was a little bit conservative in that first stage. I think it kind of hurt him on trap position. But, man, he is battling back here, and he is making some progress. Oh, he slapped the wall a little bit there, though. But, ooh, that did slow his momentum just a little bit right there. We're going to have to see if that...
Probably did give him some damage.
Yeah, a little bit of damage, but...
Heredia is gaining a ton right now on JoJo. He is closing that gap pretty quickly. I think we're coming around to 5 to go.
Yes, I believe it'll be 4 to go right here. So Heredia's got to really still put some quality laps down. That's a pretty decent gap though. JoJo, I mean, the gap is closed a little, but JoJo's not really overdriving. He's just taking his time, and you know that's going to really help his cause out here as the stage goes along. Coming to 3 to go this time.
And I think he's managing that gap really well. I mean, he should be able to walk away with this stage win. This kind of should be, I mean, first and second are locked up. No one's catching them. And then it's a dogfight. The third on back.
Yeah, Jackson just took the 4th spot away, so he's looking pretty solid right now. Person up to 3rd. FaZe has fallen to 5th, and he's under pressure from the 9, McCard, who is fighting back to try to get that trap position that he gave up with that conservative first stage. So 2 to go right here. And the gap from 1st to 2nd is kind of, you know, stabilized right here. I mean, it's, you know, enough of a gap. I think as long as JoJo hits his marks, he should be just fine coming here as he approaches the white flag. Looking very strong here as his run has progressed.
The 9's gonna move the 20 up the track for that 5th position.
Yeah, so he successfully has made his way back in the top 5. Ooh, a little contact from the 20 to the 9. I don't believe he appreciated that one. Just kind of let him know, hey, not a solid move right there, but he does allow him to take that 5th spot back. I think it was more or less just a little bit of a warning shot, just like, hey, bro, you know, maybe a little more conservative with that race move. I would have let you have it. But that is the end of the stage here. JoJo successfully from the back all the way to the front. Holds off Heredia. Person gets 3rd. Jackson in 4th. McCard ended up, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe he got 5th. I'll confirm that shortly.
Alright, so we got a little break right here. I'm not really sure what's going on, but from what you've seen, I mean, are you staying with your picks? Or you're having to win? I mean, no one said JoJo, and JoJo's up here killing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been impressive watching him work from the back to the front. So, you know, he's absolutely going to be one to watch for. McCard back up to 5th, so he's going to be one to keep an eye on right here. Kluka, I mean, any final stage adjustments on your driver pick for this one?
The most thing is just up your tire pressures a little bit to these drivers, since tires are going to be the biggest issue probably here. They're probably going to have to make 1 or 2 stops. Besides that, you control your own destiny up front. If you're going to make a mistake, it's your race. We see JoJo's fighting a lot with Heredia right here.
Yeah, he's still there. This was a very impressive set of corners, and he is still going to be there. What a beautiful corner right there. Ooh, Jackson's looking for 3 wide. He's not going to. Still even. This is some good racing
Still
for the
even
lead.
right now, yeah, and that's something I brought up, is that these drivers can approach these corners. You know, a lot of them can get in pretty aggressively right here. You see Heredia does a good job getting deep in the corner, getting the car stopped, but JoJo in that quarter panel, he's doing everything he can to side draft. Oh, he's gonna fall in line. Oh, he tapped the wall just a little bit. That was still an impressive 3-lap sequence. He was able to hang with Heredia, keep him from using the entirety of the racetrack, despite the fact that JoJo couldn't use the whole racetrack. So now it's going to be interesting to see if JoJo can, you know, hang with Heredia right here throughout this run. Tell you what, McCard and Jackson have been going at it ever since the beginning of this stage, and they are still side by side with each other. We're going 3 wide. FaZe is making a move here, trying to go 3 wide here, and passes both of them.
Tennessee's going to go up to the top.
Oh, way out of move. Killer XL's in there. Jackson still to the inside of McCard. No, McCard's going to clear him. Nowhere for the 61 to go. He had actually a pretty good run coming out of that corner.
I mean, that could have been big right there. He got squeezed into the wall by the 9.
Something big going on. Is the change for the lead.
We got a crash in the back.
Oh, Kelvin around.
Yeah, Kelvin's done.
No damage to him, but man, that takes him out of contention. But like I was mentioning, at 13, JoJo back to the lead. What an impressive move to get around Heredia. This race is far from over, guys. Persons is in the mix. McCard is trying to get 4th spot yet again. He's showing he's got a car that can hang with these guys if he could just get up there.
They're just going to hit the wall on entry again. That's...
Oh, McCard with a slide job is able to get 4th spot away from FaZe. He's clear. Impressive move by the 9 car.
Here comes Jamie Wright on the bottom. He's going to clear. Man, this is some good racing. I love coming here.
Yep. FaZe Electric not giving up on that 4th spot just yet. I believe McCard's going to have to drive off this time. Yep, he'll clear him this time. Impressive run by the 9 to work his way back within the top 4 and give himself a shot.
Running order kind of has started to be single file, but your leader is still the same. JoJo leads Heredia.
Now Heredia looking for a way to get back around him, but I tell you what, the gap between the drivers, it's, you know, these guys have figured something out here. They're not allowing the 13 and the 22 to really drive away like they did in the second stage. They're hanging there pretty, you know, they're right there if these 2 leaders slip up.
We have a crazy battle going on for, I think, 10th right now between the 18, 36, 9, 8, and the 6 car. The 18 car bumped both the 36 and the 98 up the track and made a 3-wide move past them.
I'm not exactly sure what happened to the 36. I mean, he was up with the leaders at one point.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure myself if maybe he got kind of shoved up the hill, lost some momentum, and when he tried to fall back in line, you know, somebody just took away the speed that he had, because he is back to 10th spot right here, kind of struggling mid-pack at the moment. He's got the 8 car pressuring him to get within the top 10, blocking a little bit. The 8 car is going to go high right here, it appears.
And that 8 car...
crossover for...
Yeah, keep going. I cut you off.
I'm sorry. No, it's okay. The 8 cars look strong at times. You know, he's falling back a little bit, but I mean, what's your thoughts on him? I mean, this is his debut race, Brody. I mean, you know, what's impressed you so far about this 8 car?
Well, I wasn't aware it was his debut, but I know this is his first full season. But I mean, he came out of the gate running really well, sitting in that third position at the beginning of the race, but ever since he fell back, saving tire or whatever strategy he was on at the end of stage one, he's just not been able to get back up to that lead pack. And I mean, I think he does have the speed for it, but I mean, he just can't work himself back up here. He needs a little bit of track position.
Yeah, possibly a yellow flag or some sort of circumstances going his way. I mean, like I mentioned, you know, the front runners though, I mean, a lot of them keeping touch. You see that you got the 9 car approaching those top 2. You got Persons who's within range as well. They still have not allowed those top 2 to completely get away from them here. I mean, they're making up some serious ground. The 92 overshot the corner just a little bit right there. And might allow McCard, who is looking extremely strong here in this final stage, to possibly make a pass on him there.
How many laps to go do we have?
I will get that for you in just a minute.
Now we're watching this battle brewing between the 92 and the 9, which is probably the most important battle. Does the 9 have the speed to catch up to the 13 and the 22 and possibly play a little third wheel with that front 2?
Oh, we've seen Fluffy Sacks. I think he's either lagged out or is in the pits. I think he might have lagged out.
Unfortunate for a Truck Series winner.
Does not look like he's moving. They will be coming to get 36 to go here, so this is going to be at minimum a 2-stop race. So what's the strat? I mean, obviously your first stop is going to be 4 tires. Depending on how many laps are left, would be a 4 tire on the final stop, 2 tires on the final stop. Everything's in play right now. Well, Heredia really pressuring JoJo right now.
I will say, if there is no advantage in your car, I mean, like if your tire situation isn't better than another driver and you flat out don't have that much better of a car, it is very almost impossible to pass someone on these long runs.
All right, well, we got 2 takers on pit road here, the 61 of 10 Titan for life, and the 8 of Hemi Kittrick, who started 3rd in this race early here on pit road. Well, I say early, but you know, trying something right here.
Here comes McCard and Jackson, the following lap after. I mean, the way I see it, these drivers are trying to short pit the field and try to gain some track position. That way, I think that's a great idea for the 36 and the 8 to try to do, because they have shown speed in the race.
Yep, a change for the lead here. The 22 is able to get by JoJo right here. JoJo fighting back on the inside. He's not ready to give this lead up just yet.
JoJo does have really good rotation in these corners.
He does. He's trying to use the shortest way around this track, try to stay side by side with Heredia, which he does.
I think JoJo's pitting this time.
JoJo is pitting.
Heredia reads it as well, though.
Oh, wow. Great read by Heredia.
Here comes Electric.
Everybody's in. Besides the
everybody else is coming in.
Who's staying out? I think there's...
That's a 19 of Cush.
19. Cush is going to get a lap lead right here. Very crucial.
Yep. Yep.
I like the idea of the overcut. I love it.
Yes.
All right. So this will be a challenge to the pit crews right here to see who's going to get their car off of pit road first between the 13 and the 22. But let's keep in mind, a lot of other drivers came in before they did. Well, that short pit allowed them to potentially get the lead. All right, JoJo out of the pits.
I believe the 4 car is still on the track. I'm not sure if he scored as the leader, but I don't think he has came down to pit road yet. But if he is the leader...
JoJo's going to be right there with Heredia, not too far apart from each other, so...
Here comes the 9 and the 92 right here. Right up into this battle. JoJo's got to get around these guys if he's going to have to.
Yep. The short pit worked out for, I mean, at least one lap for the 9 car. He's able to get up to 2nd place.
He did pass the 92, which he was struggling to get around.
Yeah, that was big for him. You see the 92 still fighting with JoJo here for that 3rd spot. Like you said, JoJo's got to get going. He cannot allow that 22 to be able to get away from him here while they're on equal tires.
He is going to take that third place back, but, I mean, Heredia is looking to run away right here. And it looks like McCart he is trying. I mean, he is throwing it into corners, overheating his stuff. If I were him, I would just let the 13 by and try to...
Yeah, the 13 is showing he's a little bit quicker at the moment, I believe. I mean, McCart's doing a good job holding his own here, but I mean, in retrospect, I mean, you know, if he lets JoJo go right here, I think there's a chance the 13 can end up catching the 22 before he burns all of his stuff. Because right now, all they're allowing Heredia to do is just run a very smooth line, conserve his equipment, while JoJo is having to burn everything he's got trying to pass the 9.
Absolutely. I mean, I would start thinking about bumpers if I were the 13. Because there is no time to play around right here. I mean, your opponent.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Just like you were saying, the bump and run right here. Nothing to knock McCart into the fence or anything, but just to say, hey, look, bro, I've got to get going. I've got to try to get this 22 while I've got the tires to compete with him. And he will clear the 9 here, so.
Yeah, clear yourself. Get up and go.
And McCart's smart here. He's just going to try to ride in line and see if, you know, JoJo is able to make up any kind of ground. But that 22's opened up about a 1.5-second lead. This is going to be interesting to see now what JoJo is able to do to try to run down this 22.
I am going to cycle through the pack to see what moves were able to be made through those pit stops. It does look like the 8 car did get out in front of a whole bunch of cars because of that early pitting. Same with the 36, but they're now starting to be swallowed up by those late pitters with better tires.
Yeah, he pitted the same lap as 10 Ty, and they're on the same tires, and he actually passed him going to pit. You know, he was a little ahead of him on the pit road, put some distance between himself. He's up to 7th. So the short pit for the time being proven to be beneficial for that 8 car.
The 13 car is not really gaining on Heredia too much. He's not really gapping McCart that much either. He's gapping him a little bit, probably like like a couple hundredths a lap, but not much.
It is an impressive gap to even work with right here, but I mean, he's got to back off a little bit and try to let his stuff cool just a little bit, just in the slightest, to give him something. Because right now, I mean, he's continuing to burn himself up. I mean, one thing is catching the 22, but passing him is a whole other thing, whole other beast.
So just to let you guys know, next time by, we're going to be at 22 to go as Heredia crosses the start-finish line right here. So as we mentioned, you know, these guys can't make it on just this one pit stop. They will have to come down again, and I'm presuming at least 2 tires. You know, does somebody like really short pitted take 4, and hopefully they can make up that time against someone who might take 2?
Good idea. But they would have to pit really early, like right now.
Well, I mean, with 21 to go, they're still going to be out of that range of the tires, I believe, because, you know, there were some drivers who were still struggling to make it 19 laps, and the first stage was 21, and you saw how people were having to back it down just to make it.
Oh, okay.
So,
I thought I was under the impression a run was 26, but that might be the Cup Series.
Yeah, Cup Series, I believe, is like 25 or so on fuel. Tires, obviously, I don't believe quite make it that far, so, you know, various strategies still at play right here. It'll just be interesting to see what these guys decide to do here in these final laps. I mean, Heredia appears to be in control of the outcome of this race at the moment. But, you know, circumstances could, you know, potentially change that here. We'll just have to see. I mean, coming to 20, you're at 20 to go, coming to 19 to go. I mean, the pit window's about to start opening up for these drivers here shortly.
We got 3 wide racing in the further back in the pack between the 1, the 18, and the 98.
And these guys are digging. They're fighting.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching them for the last few laps. I mean, they have not given really anything between these 3. Sadsack's been in the middle most of it. Does look like he's starting to try to scoot away, and this 98 is about to fall under pressure to this 1 car. It does look like they have sorted out right now. And the gap from 5th to the rest of the field, or just 4th to the rest of the field, is definitely impressive.
Absolutely. 17 to go here at the line. Jackson making a pit stop.
Oh, I mean, what do you have to lose if you're in Jackson's position? Same with Tennessee Titan, who also follows him down.
Yeah, I mean, you can potentially make up some time on drivers who are gonna maybe take 2 tires, pit a little bit later. Hey, take the fresh tires and try to make up some ground right now.
Might as well if you got to stop again.
Absolutely. Like I said, I mean, drivers who are a little further back, you know, maybe taking 4, who's going to take 2. That gap from 1st to 2nd has not changed at all once JoJo got to 2nd place. It's just been holding steady here. So, like I said, I mean, these cars are just so equally matched right now. I mean, it's gonna take something big by JoJo to get back into this one, I believe.
For sure, as we see the second round of pit stops are starting now, with the 6 car and the 8 car coming into the pits. So, and the 15.
Here comes McCarr to pit road. A lot of drivers coming in, phases in, persons in. A lot of drivers coming in. I mean, this is going to be interesting because
2 tires or 4 tires.
Yeah, and I mean, I have a feeling that some drivers may take 4 here, and you know, it's just, this is going to get interesting.
If I was a good like 4 or 5 seconds behind Heredia, and knowing you're not going to win it off pure speed, I would go with the idea of 2 tires, which that could be the idea of some of these drivers. Let's see. No, I don't think oh yes, we have a 2 tire taker. I think that person might have taken 2.
JoJo's gonna come down this
No,
time.
he didn't. No.
JoJo down.
Can definitely expect Heredia comes in this following lap.
Yeah, I don't believe Heredia's going to stay on the track much longer. I'm waiting to see when Jackson gets back on the lead lap to see. Yeah, here he comes.
Well.
Here he comes. Final pit stop of the night for these leaders.
Let's see what JoJo does. JoJo takes 2.
All right, so what will Heredia do? Is he going to take 2? Will he take 4? He had such a big lead. Well, I say a big lead. It was a comfortable lead. So he's got some options here.
Right now, it does look like Greg Iris is going to take the lead. At least lead a lap right here, so that's some extra point.
Deep for Heredia.
All right, so I believe Heredia right here is on 11 to go. He's not currently the race leader from the stream.
Heredia takes 2 as well.
All right, this could be the race right here. Wow.
Killer has some damage. Killer had an incident.
Oh, wow.
Okay, JoJo, I'm not entirely sure if JoJo just had a slow entry, but he lost about a second on pit road to Heredia.
Where is everyone else?
I believe everybody else took 4 tires.
I think that's the A car. The A car might be the closest. Let me check on the stream what's going on.
Yeah, this is I believe it's 10 to go right here. So
I mean, maybe 2 tires is a little bit of a stretch. And all these drivers wanted to play it safe, or they really did think that they could make up all that time.
They might be able to. We don't know. I think Jamie, I don't know if Jamie's on the lead lap or not.
Yeah, Jamie is the next car in between the 13 and the 9, it looks like. I do want to say he took 2 tires, though. That's roughly where he was in comparison to those leaders.
all right, Heredia just took the lead back, and if the stream is correct, I believe we're on 8 laps to go here.
I'll check Heredia's stream for running order.
All right.
Probably get his tire window open.
Yeah, I'm watching Jackson's right now. Jackson took 4 tires, so he's not checking it. 7 to go here when Heredia gets back to the line. So
wait, I don't know if Heredia has a stream. Let me check.
I don't think Heredia is streaming tonight. Heredia's got some lap traffic ahead of him here, but I mean he's got a pretty comfortable gap back to JoJo. I don't believe there's going to be a major issue for him. He'll take his time working around that traffic.
Yeah, Heredia is not streaming soon.
Yeah. 6 to go here, and it'll be 5 to go next time. So while we have a few laps remain, gents, I guess I'll ask a question. I mean, what's been so, who's, despite Heredia being in the lead, he's in control of the race right now, who's impressed you the most, with the way they've ran tonight? I'll start with you, Kuka.
Probably JoJo. JoJo, starting P19 all the way up to P2, I honestly think he's going to be the driver of the day. He comes out, with a Stage 2 win, right? He ended up winning Stage 2, P2 is P3 in Stage 1. From starting P19, that's just an absurd start for him. He's been just great all around.
Yeah, and I mean he was one of the few guys who was able to challenge Heredia straight up. So I mean, absolutely agree with that one. And I definitely would say the same thing. I mean, just an impressive drive by JoJo. I mean, as of right now, if this paint continues to go green, he's going to fall just a little bit short. But to be able to go from basically the back of the field all the way to P2 is just very, very impressive to watch. We're on 3 to go here. Who impressed you the most today, Brody?
I think it's the guy I'm on board with right now, and it's going to be Person. I mean, I really don't know a whole lot about this kid, but he's been right up here in the top 5 this whole race. Like, every single time I've looked at him, he has just had the speed up here, top 3, top 5, doesn't matter what it is. He is always in the front picture of this race, and it's really surprised me.
Yes, indeed. 2 to go. Shuffling back to Heredia. I'm impressed with McCard here too. McCard, he fell way back in the field in Stage 1, worked himself all the way back within the top 5. We're on the white flag here. But he worked himself all the way back up to 3rd spot. He's held steady throughout the stage, so a very solid night for some of the JRM guys tonight. I mean, Heredia obviously, cream of the crop tonight. He got challenged at times by JoJo. It was impressive to watch. Comes down the backstretch for his final time, and it's turn 3, nice and smooth as he's been all night long.
Rounding 4, Heredia is gonna win at Phoenix. What a surprise there. Definitely a valiant.
JoJo.
Yes, definitely a valiant effort by that 13 car and giving him much of a running as we could have hoped for. It made it very interesting.
Greg got a top 5.
Yeah, Greg was right up there. I'm not sure. Could have been on fuel saving.
No, I got the results for the
Yeah,
final results.
Heredia, JoJo, McCard, Person, FaZe in 5th, Killer, Drunkfest driving his way to 7th, MC Kittrick was 8th, Jackson was 9th, and in 10th, rounding out, was Hale State. No, I'm sorry, not Hale State. 10 time for life. He scrolled down the list, so oops. Sorry about that.
Well,
And then
there
the
you
bottom
have
half of the order would be Sad Sack, Movement, and then the shoot shut off, so I lost it.
it. Well, there you have it. There's your top 10 to tonight's running of Phoenix. Let's try to get Heredia up into the booth along with, I believe, JoJo and Bart. And Sharp, if we do have time for interviews, I'm just gonna let you feed
I'm
that.
just going to ask Heredia a quick question, and I got to step away before the cup race, so I'll just go ahead and...
right now. So thank you guys for letting me join.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you jumping in with us.
Oh, anytime.
Yeah, you did great up here.
All right.
That was Luca. He's out, and it does look like fastest lap. As of right now, goes to the 8. I'm not sure who all left, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I didn't see anything off of the stream there, so
let's at least get Heredia in here. We don't have to get the whole party of 3, and then we can go from there because we are at 8:30 and kind of cutting
all right.
it
Well,
close.
JoJo is in here, so
much for that idea.
Up on the night. I'll go ahead and ask him a quick question, and then I'm gonna step away real quick. You got us, JoJo?
Yes, sir. I gotta answer quick too, cause I gotta handle something. But whenever y'all ready.
All right, I'll keep it brief for you. Well, first of all, congrats on a stellar run. I know it's not necessarily a win for you, but I mean, considering the poor qualifying lap you had, you bristled your way through the field. You gave Heredia fits all night long, in that final stage, and come home with a solid runner-up finish with a stage win. So how does it feel to be able to, on a track that can be difficult to pass, and you made it look quite easy at times, so how are you feeling after this race?
It's always good to run with Heredia here, knowing this is one of his best tracks, or I think it's one of his best tracks. He's good at everywhere, but yeah, I mean, it just felt good battling with some good racers. Electric did good, Person did good, McCard's always doing good at this track, so everything's good.
Yeah, and JoJo, I did want to ask, I mean, you've had a phenomenal start to this season, sitting 3rd in points, probably going to go up the standings with Blake missing this race, so it'll probably shoot you up in 2nd position. I mean, what confidence, from the start of the season, what is it given you for the rest of the season? I mean, how do you think your title hopes are going to be this season?
Well, first on talking about points, I'm not gonna lie, I was doing them in my head the whole race. I think I might have it over Person or Heredia or Person. It's gonna be really close, but after this good start to the season, it definitely is gonna help. Cause I mean, it's just gonna help because these first few tracks have been not my favorites, and being able to get top 5s really motivates.
Definitely. Sharp, are you still here, or did you step away?
I'm here. We have a race winner in here. I'll go ahead and ask Heredia. Well, first of all, Heredia, how are you feeling after the race?
I am happy. I am happy that got the dub. Felt like I lost one last week, but come back here, probably my strongest track or one of the strongest tracks that I run to, and got the dub. So I'm proud. I'm happy.
Awesome. Yeah, an incredible effort for you. I mean, pole sitter. Going back to last week, people can consider it maybe a little bit of luck on their side, but strategy does come into effect. We saw drivers conserve well enough to overtake you after you had a dominant car at Vegas, and looked like you just, you shook it aside. You come into Phoenix knowing you had another great track and executed perfectly. 7th first stage, you battled trying to get back to JoJo, just a little bit short, but then once that third stage, I mean, you and JoJo were right there, equal in speed, maybe a little bit better pit stop for you, and you just pulled away there at the end. So, taking this first win of the season, new series for you. So, what can you take away from this race now moving forward to the remainder of the season?
Well, I mean, it's definitely, a new experience, definitely with Xfinity, and, with all these different strategies, like last week, which caught me off guard. I wasn't really thinking as much of it, but, it's just, that's part of, racing, and you have to deal with it. Some frustration last week, but we move on and we learn. So, and that's what happened this week, and a freaking great battle with JoJo there. I mean, I was trying to keep it as clean as I can, riding all up in his bumper, but great racing. I expect more of it coming later on this season. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Congrats to you. I'll turn it over to Brody. And Brody, thank you for having me in the booth. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the chat. Congrats again already.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That was Sharp. Sharp did great tonight. And Heredia, while I have you here and while we have a little bit more time, I do want to ask you, because I am kind of curious. You spent your whole time in this league basically running in the Cup Series. How does this, change of scenery, Xfinity Field, how does it kind of differ from racing in the Cup Series?
I mean, one was the drivers, the different people, driving. Like Cup, I'm, 3 seasons up there. I kind of get used to how people race, how I treat them, how they treat me. Xfinity is a little different. You gotta learn from others. You gotta learn how they drive and stuff. And I think there's a lot of different strategies compared to Cup, and I have to adjust to that. And I'm still learning. I'm not the best in Xfinity, which you guys can argue about that, but I'm still learning, and just like a lot of people here. But I mean, it's pretty fun. I mean, I came here just for a little bit of a change. If there's another season of HBO, I will go back to Cup, but just a little bit of changing the things up. Well, I mean, just set the mark. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, definitely coming into this season, everyone sees you as the favorite. So let's try to keep it that way. But definitely a tremendous start to the season, and congratulations on your first win of the season.
Thank you.
So that'll do it for tonight's stream from Phoenix in the series. Next week we are let me pull it up because I've already got a few things wrong. We are heading to Auto Club for next week's running, and I believe that'll be a race where there are no stages. We are trying to kind of change it up a little bit. There are 3 races on the schedule that will not have any stage racing, and I believe Auto Club is our first race, so definitely tune into that next week. Same time, you're going to see the same drivers that were out here. We're going to possibly see Heredia go back-to-back, so definitely tune in, and I think that'll do it for tonight. So this is Brody signing off, and we'll see you next week.